Let's get one thing straight. You're not stuck because life hates you. You're stuck because you keep doing the same things, in the same way, expecting something magical to shift on its own. And guess what? It won't, if nothing changes. Nothing changes. You don't arrive in a new life by accident. You build it, decision by decision, step by step. But most people, they're stuck on repeat. Same chair, same route, same thoughts, same problems. And they call that stability. No, that's slow motion collapse. Let's be real. You didn't get here because you were lazy. You got here because it was easy to stay here. Because comfort is addictive. Because the unknown is terrifying. Because changing one small thing feels pointless. So you change nothing. You look around and say, well, at least I'm surviving. Yeah, but are you living? Be honest. When was the last time something in your life made you feel truly awake? When was the last time you chose the uncomfortable path on purpose? You keep waiting for some big moment to jolt you out of the loop. Spoiler, there is no moment. You are the moment. Change doesn't crash through the window with a dramatic soundtrack. It starts stupidly small. You sit in a different chair. You walk a new street. You change your morning routine by 5 minutes. You interrupt the loop. And suddenly, something shifts. Your brain lights up. Your patterns crack. You realize how robotic you've become. And how powerful that one little shift actually was. But here's the problem. Most people aren't addicted to success. They're addicted to familiarity. They'd rather suffer in the same predictable way than risk feeling lost in a new one. So they stay. In stale jobs, in lifeless routines, in beliefs they outgrew years ago. And they tell themselves, it's fine. I'm managing. Managing what? Your own slow fade into numbness. This isn't about throwing your life away and starting from zero. It's about realizing you can't move forward if you're gripping everything behind you with both hands. You don't need a new life. You need new movement, new energy, new patterns. But here's the real kicker. Nothing in your life will feel different. Until you start acting differently. You don't have a motivation problem. You have a repetition problem. You don't need another self-help book. You need to shake up your reality, physically, emotionally, mentally. Because the longer you live in the same pattern, the more convinced you become that it's your identity. That this is just who you are. That it's too late to change. Lie, you are not your routine. You are not your past pace. You are not your autopilot. You're a human being with the power to move, to adjust, to redirect. So here's the wake-up call. If you don't start changing something, anything, you are voluntarily choosing the exact life you say you're tired of. Let that sink in. Don't overthink it. Don't romanticize it. Just do something different today. Because if you keep repeating what got you here, you'll keep being what got you here, and that version of you. It's not the final one, not even close. Here's the lie we love to tell ourselves. I'll change. Later. You say you're waiting for the right moment, the right motivation, the right sign from the universe, but deep down, you're just stalling. You're terrified of what happens after the change, because it means facing life without your old excuses. Later is where your dreams go to die. You don't need more time, you need more courage. Because you know what happens while you wait. Life moves on, opportunities pass, your body changes, your fire dims. The version of you that could have become something greater starts fading. Not because you failed, but because you hesitated. People don't quit because it's too hard. They quit because they keep putting off the start. They think they'll wake up one day with magical energy and clarity. Spoiler, that day never comes. Energy comes from movement, not before it. The more you delay, the heavier it all becomes. And here's the worst part. Your delay becomes your identity. You start saying things like, I've just never been that type of person. I've always struggled with that. This is just who I am. No, it's not. It's who you've practiced being. Your routine isn't just what you do. It's what you're training your mind to expect. And every time you delay a change, you're rehearsing the same character. The one who almost did it. The one who thought about it. The one who meant well, but never moved. Let's get brutally honest. If you died tomorrow, would you be proud of how much you postponed? Would you say, I'm glad I waited until it felt right? Or would you be crushed by everything you knew you could have done, but didn't? Listen carefully. You don't get clarity by thinking more. You get clarity by moving. Action reveals truth. When you walk a different path, you feel the difference. When you sit in a different chair, you notice new things. When you shift your rhythm, the mind wakes up. Change isn't just external, it's internal rewiring. But you can't rewire what you keep numbing. You can't grow inside a cycle designed to keep you small. And make no mistake, that's what this is about. You're not tired of life. You're tired of repetition that makes life feel meaningless. It's not depression. It's not burnout. It's pattern fatigue. Your soul is screaming for variety. Your body is begging for motion. Your future is waiting for a signal, and that signal is you. You don't need to see the whole path. You just need to step off the one that's taking you nowhere. One step, that's it. Eat something different. Say no to what drains you. Say yes to what scares you. Switch up your schedule. Cancel something that doesn't serve you. Interrupt the algorithm of your life. Because if you don't, it will keep looping. Same input, same output, same you. So tell me, what are you putting off right now that your future self will resent you for? Stop waiting. Start interrupting. Because the longer you hesitate, the more permanent your excuses become. Let's talk about comfort, not the good kind, the toxic kind. Because right now, that's what's holding you back more than anything else. Comfort feels like safety, but it's not. It's a cage. A quiet, padded, cozy little prison that steals your hunger and sells you mediocrity in return. And the scariest part, you don't even realize it's happening. You start saying things like, I don't really need to change. I guess this is just my season to be still. Maybe I'm being ungrateful, wanting more. No, that's not stillness. That's settling. That's you lowering the bar because you're scared of what raising it would demand. And here's the brutal truth. Nothing extraordinary is born from comfort. Growth, discomfort, clarity, conflict, breakthroughs, pressure. You don't level up in the soft places. You level up when you're pressed. When something inside you snaps and says, I can't live like this anymore. That's the moment things shift. But you have to let it break. You have to feel the discomfort instead of numbing it. Because if you keep chasing ease, you will never chase greatness. And if you're always choosing what's easy, you're also choosing what's forgettable. The world doesn't need more people who play it safe. The world needs people who are awake, who are willing to step out of rhythm, who are willing to look strange, unsure, and in motion. Because motion is the proof you're alive, and comfort. Comfort is the slow rot of unused potential. It's what keeps you on the couch instead of on the path. It's what keeps your talent buried. It's what turns curiosity into apathy. And you know what's worse than failure? Waking up one day and realizing you never even tried. That you let the best parts of you sit idle because you didn't want to feel awkward. That you avoided discomfort so well, you never got close to your edge, and your edge is where the magic happens. Let me ask you something uncomfortable. When was the last time you did something for the first time? Something that made your hands sweat. Something that made your voice shake. Something that exposed how much more you could be. If you can't remember, that's the problem. That's not stability, that's decay. And it's subtle. It doesn't scream, it whispers. It tells you to wait. To rest a little longer. To play it smart. To avoid the risk. And just like that, your life becomes a loop. Predictable, dull, controlled. But guess what? Control is the opposite of growth. You don't grow by holding the reins tighter. You grow by loosening your grip, taking the step, making the move before it feels comfortable. So here's your real challenge. Stop calling it a season of waiting, when it's really a season of hiding. Stop pretending you're at peace, when you're actually just scared. Scared of what happens if you give yourself fully to something. But let me tell you what happens. You wake up, you feel alive. You stop being a spectator and start being a force. Comfort will always be there. You can crawl back into it any time. But right now, you've got the chance to choose something else. A discomfort that leads somewhere. A fear that teaches you. A risk that remakes you. Because comfort isn't your friend, it's your ceiling. Break it. You want to know why most people stay stuck for years? It's not because they're lazy. It's not because they're unlucky. It's because, at some point, they started believing their own limitations. They said, I've always been this way. I'm just not that kind of person. This is who I am. And boom, locked. That phrase is the killer. This is just who I am. It sounds harmless, it sounds self-aware, but it's not. It's a coffin. A perfectly wrapped excuse to stop evolving. Because once you label yourself, you stop testing yourself. You stop experimenting. You stop learning. You start defending your habits like they're sacred, even the ones that are ruining you. You say you want change, but you also want to keep your same beliefs, your same routines, your same comfort. Newsflash, you don't get both. Change costs comfort. It costs certainty. It costs the version of you that survived, but was never meant to thrive. And here's the wild part. You're not afraid of failing. You're afraid of becoming someone unfamiliar, even if that someone is better. Because we've been taught to worship identity over evolution. But listen closely. Your identity isn't fixed. It's trained. And right now your patterns are training you to be smaller than you were meant to be. You weren't born passive. You weren't born fearful. You weren't born resistant to change. You learned that, and anything learned can be unlearned. But only if you stop defending your past like it's your purpose. Think about it. How many things are you doing today just because they're familiar? Same morning habits, same self-talk, same people, same fears, same reasons you tell yourself not to try. That's not identity, that's repetition. And repetition without reflection becomes a prison. You want to escape? Start here. Question everything. Why do you think the way you think? Why do you speak to yourself the way you do? Why do you feel stuck? And who told you that's normal? You've got to get ruthless with the narrative in your head. Because if you don't rewrite it, it will replay itself forever. You are not your habits. You are not your pain. You are not your survival tactics. You are the one who chooses what stays and what gets left behind. But you can't change what you refuse to confront. So confront it. Not with shame, with honesty. Look it dead in the eye and say, "Thanks for getting me here. But I'm not staying here." That's the moment the shift begins. Not when you feel ready. Not when you've figured it all out. But when you stop lying to yourself about who you really are and who you still could be. That's when things start to move. That's when the cycle breaks. That's when the old version of you stops running the show. And yeah, it's uncomfortable. It's messy. It'll make you question everything. But that's not a crisis. That's evolution. So stop saying, "This is just who I am," and start asking, "Who do I want to become? And what am I willing to leave behind to get there?" That question changes everything. If you're brave enough to answer it, this is it. The line between the life you say you want and the one you keep settling for isn't made of luck, timing, or fate. It's made of choices. Daily, boring, invisible, uncomfortable choices. And most people will never cross that line. Not because they can't, but because they keep waiting for something outside of them to do the work. They're waiting for a miracle, for motivation, for a push. Let me make it simple. You are the push. No one's coming to rearrange your life. No one's arriving to snap you out of your patterns. No one can force you to evolve. That's your job. It's not sexy, it's not cinematic, but it's real. You have to choose the hard thing, again and again, until the hard thing becomes your new normal. That's how transformation works. Not overnight, not in one grand gesture, but in tiny, silent decisions when no one's watching. You start walking instead of scrolling. You say no instead of pleasing. You face your fear instead of postponing it. You admit what's not working and do something different. Is it hard? Yes. But here's what's harder. Living a life that doesn't belong to you. Watching your potential rot under the weight of your patterns. Waking up 10 years from now and realizing you traded your one shot for convenience. That's the real pain. That's the regret that doesn't fade. So if you take one thing from this entire video, let it be this. You are not stuck. You are just afraid. Afraid of discomfort. Afraid of becoming someone new. Afraid of letting go of the safe version of you, even though that version is miserable. But fear isn't the enemy. Fear is the signal that you're near a breakthrough. Lean into it. And the moment you do, the moment you decide that enough is enough, everything shifts. Not because the world changes, because you change. You stop repeating, you stop postponing. You stop lying to yourself about how fine everything is. You start interrupting. You start breaking patterns. You start choosing growth over comfort every single day. And before you know it, your life starts to look unfamiliar. In the best way possible, you move differently. You think differently. You walk into rooms and feel like you belong in them. You don't chase alignment, you are alignment. Because you built it, piece by piece, decision by decision, change by change. That's not magic, that's ownership. So let's leave it here. If nothing changes, nothing changes. But if you change, everything does. Now ask yourself, what's one thing I can do today that future me will thank me for? Then do it, not next week. Not when it's convenient. Now. Because your new life, it doesn't begin in the future. It begins the moment you stop choosing the old one.